2025 is said to be a really interesting year regarding new game launches, but with a market that produces hundreds of new games every single day, it is hard to keep track of the new releases and what can we expect from 2025. So that's why I wanted to share with you the main launches of this year, what are my opinions on them, and either if I will be playing or not. Let's go straight into it. Before we jump right into the games that are about to be released, let's take a quick look to the ones that have already been launched out there earlier this month. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just came out the 4th of February, and it is a really interesting choice for those who want an immersive, hardcore medieval time simulation. I played a little bit of the first one and just fell in love immediately with the depth of the game and how it just had so many options. Sometimes combat felt a little bit clunky, but hey, that's exactly what the game is trying to do. If you enjoy open world games that don't guide you constantly and let you figure out things by yourself and truly roam free and just let curiosity be the main engine of your exploring, then I invite you to visit this wonderful medieval Bohemia, done with excruciating detail and, for what I understand, pretty exhaustive historic research. Well, the king of the just one more turn games is back with a new release. Civilization 7 just launched earlier on February 11th, and I am afraid to report that it is not looking so good right now for them. The first days of the new Civ game have been rocky to say the least, and most players claim that the state of the video game feels undercooked and that it should have been a couple extra months in the oven. This, paired with the aggressive predatory expansion plan and founder editions that cost a fortune, have made players angry and bitter towards the new Civilization entry. I am not surprised, as Take-Two, the parent company behind 2K Games and the one that has the last word regarding this game, is very well known for their anti-consumer practices, and it is perhaps the player in the market as terrible as Electronic Arts is. I mean, have you seen these prices to play the game a little bit before release? This is almost a scam, or at least it feels like it. You are beta testing this game for free. Well, even worse, you are paying to be the beta tester. It does not make any sense. But anyways, I would not recommend purchasing this game yet, as I bet it will be lots of fun in the future, but for now stick to Civ 6. And later in the year, when it has a huge discount, you can probably grab it for its real worth. Monster Hunter Wilds, baby. I cannot lie to you, I am so biased on this one. We are just a couple days away from the release of the new Monster Hunter entry, as it launches on the last day of February, and boy, I got hyped for this one. It seems that Capcom has returned to their Monster Hunter World roots to bring a different experience than the one we got in Monster Hunter Rise, while trying to implement new quality of life mechanics and new features to the saga, such as a refined version of the mounted monsters called Sacred, who can bring you to the monster you are targeting, carry a secondary weapon of your choice, and much more. There are now pop-up camps. You can skip animations and cutscenes. There's Endemic Live revamped. There's now Lightning, Apex monsters, and the new designs. Oh my god, the new designs. We gotta talk about the new designs. They look crisp. I really like this one, if I gotta be honest. Lala Barina. It's the coolest spider I've ever seen. And we got Gore Magala back into the franchise. Come on. I am buying this game on launch, no doubt about it. I don't even care what I've said about not buying games in launch. This one is an exception, for sure. Later in March, we have the new Assassin's Creed entry coming right up, and the main question everyone must be wondering is, will the game be finished? Will it have less than $100? Will it be at least playable? Who knows? Ubisoft is at a crossroads right now. Either the company keeps plunging into the red numbers, offering the same experience again and again and again, the same repetitive missions again and again and again, the same repetitive hours, concepts, open world generic video games once all over again, or they construct a new vision thanks to being so close to the abyss, and they recover that magic they had 20 years ago. My honest opinion, I think they are so big, so bloated, that is very difficult for them to change course. But I have to hope for the best. Yet, this new Assassin's Creed doesn't interest me, because I feel that it is going to be a grindy 80-hour experience and I don't want to lose my time on it. The world design looks beautiful though, as it always does with Ubisoft. Okay, this is not a game release, but I have to comment on it. The 2nd of April we will get a Nintendo Direct regarding news about Nintendo Switch 2 and some releases that we can expect from Nintendo and third parties. It is too lengthy and complex to explain it in this video. It is definitely not a conspiracy, but there is a strong chance, everyone, that Silksong, the long-awaited sequel to Hollow Knight, might be announced that day. Yeah, I'm not smoking hopium, okay? Yeah, it will be announced. It will be released. It will cost $5 and it will be a bajillion hours and it will be incredible. Just save the date to see if we finally stop being clowns. And if not, you can always subscribe to this channel to support our work. Doom! Launching on May 15, return to killing demons, beasts, and creatures and dancing in a bullet hell ball dancing with blood raining, heavy metal induced frenetic adrenaline pumper game. Oh, this is good. If you enjoyed Doom and want some more, go for this instantly. And if you haven't played any game on the franchise, then perhaps start with this one if you really like what you are seeing right now. And if not, you can always get the previous games at a much cheaper price. I respect Doom because it doesn't try to trick you. It is a game about shooting, dodging, executing, and cutting through terrible enemies. Fast-paced, action-based, and a reminder of the good old days. Simple as that. There is not much announced for this summer, yet. But the next big release is perhaps the biggest one of the year, and maybe the history of this media. Grand Theft Auto 6 is the most hyped game of the century. And after a lot of silent treatment by Rockstar, last year we got a proper trailer and announcement, and it seems that the game will be releasing this fall. What can we expect from it? Well, I think everyone knows at this point. A huge detailed world, really in-depth mechanics, graphics incredible, physics that will set a new standard, and a pretty good chance to have a good story mode. However, at the same time, GTA 6 will also set a new standard, or so it seems, regarding video game pricing, players' expectations, and open world game design philosophy. Will that be a good influence or a bad one? Only time will tell. And speaking of time, I intend to play this on 2026 when hopefully we get the PC release, because as with the previous one, I think we're only getting it on consoles this year. Before that, only console players will be able to get a taste of the most hyped game in history. Just tell us how it's like. I'm not envious at all. Well, and then there's Switch players, I guess. Those have it worse. Closing the year, we have some cool releases to get the most out of Christmas. Firstly, we have Subnautica 2, an ambitious sequel of the underwater survival indie gem. Bear in mind that the game will launch in early access, following the steps of his predecessor. So unless you loved the first one and you're really motivated to get it as soon as it comes out, I suggest waiting a little bit to get some nice updates and perhaps even get it once the 1.0 patch releases. However, it is good to keep an eye out on this one, because if I know something about craft surviving in-depth scary monsters in the abyss type of game, it is this one. This one is the one I would recommend, definitely. Like Planet Crafter, but on the ocean. Or Planet Crafter is Subnautica 2, but on an isolated planet. Well, who cares? The other main release of December at the time of the making of this video is Elden Ring Night Rain, a surprising announcement that catched all of us unprepared. The game seems to be a multiplayer co-op with roguelike elements and somehow a battle royale system in which the world of the lands between will progressively shrink until you have no other choice than fighting a boss. The concept looks really weird, but also incredibly interesting, and I bet this will be the main talk of the month when it comes out, as we have already seen glimpses of new bosses and even some that have been brought back from the Souls saga. Finally, I'd like to talk about some games that come out this year but don't have a specific release date. One of those is Death Stranding 2, and if you have watched my video about boring games that are actually incredible, then you know why this is a must. I don't know what Kojima smokes, but man, I like to play through it. If you want an interesting experience, detached from the current trends, then I cannot recommend this one to you enough. And no, it's not an Amazon delivery simulator, okay? It has more to it. It has its charm. Trust me. Pokemon comes back with another Legends entry, the new spin-off saga that takes place a long time before the main game's time frame. And set in the Unova region, this game promises to be building upon Legends of Arceus. Arceus? Arceus? I think it's Arceus. Or Arceus, like the Latin one. Man, I should look this up before recording the script. Either way, Legends of Arceus had some interesting and fresh mechanics, but it was also criticized for its low-paced story, the never-ending repetitive dialogues, and overall being unfinished. A characteristic that has become a staple in the Pokemon saga. My advice on this one is to wait a couple weeks after it comes out, see what people are saying about it, how it performs, how big is the leap from the previous one, and after considering all that, then decide if you want to buy it or not. That's what I did with Scarlet and Violet, because it happened in Spain and I thought it was really interesting and cool, the designs were fine. And after a couple weeks seeing that the game ran terribly, I waited, and when it was in a somehow playable state, I decided to finally purchase it. Well, for this one, Pokemon Legends ZA, the catching method looks fun, the modes look fun, but I haven't played the previous one, so I can say, just wait it out, wait a couple weeks, see what's going on. Do you remember that in the E3 of 2017 conference, there was a game that was announced called Metroid Prime 4? Yeah, I also didn't remember. It has been 8 years. Jeez. That's rough. Even the E3 isn't live anymore. Well, either way, in the Nintendo conference they proudly explained that Metroid Prime 4 was being developed, and a couple years later they sadly announced that they were rebooting the game from scratch as it was not becoming a good enough video game. And in consequence, we would have to wait a long time to see more of it. Well, that long time has passed, and now, sometime this year, Metroid Prime 4 is coming out. With this one, the main thing I feel is curiosity. It could be a disastrous launch, seeing the rough journey this game has taken during its development, or, on the other hand, it could be a new high for the Metroid franchise, as the call to redo everything from scratch could have transformed Metroid Prime 4 into something far better than we're going to get initially. Which side of the coin will we get? I honestly hope the good one, as Nintendo first-party games at its best are perhaps one of the biggest joys of having this hobby. I sincerely hope so. And well, that's the major releases of 2025. Do you think I should have included another game that you're really looking forward to? Please tell me in the comments. I am also inclined to do a similar video with indie games coming out this year, as I thought they deserve their own space to be talked about. I would like you to tell me if you would like to see that as well. Anyways, now I'm off to nervously wait for Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh my god, I have so much hype for this game. Well, until we meet again,